Are you planning to get permanent residency in Australia? Then stop whatever you are doing right now, because if you have not heard about the latest changes to Australia's PR system in 2026, you could be making decisions based on outdated information, and that mistake could cost you years of your life and thousands of dollars. Stay with me until the end of this video, because what I am about to share could completely change your pathway to permanent residency in Australia. Welcome back to Australia PR Insider, the #1 channel for everything you need to know about building your future in Australia. If you are new here, you are in the right place. Hit that subscribe button and the bell icon right now so you never miss an update that could change your life. And if you have been with us for a while, you already know we keep it real, we keep it accurate, and we always keep you ahead of the game. So let us get into it. 2026 has already brought some of the most significant changes to Australia's permanent residency system that we have seen in years. The Australian government has been making major adjustments to immigration policy, and if you are on a skilled visa, a student visa, a temporary graduate visa, or you are planning to apply for PR through any pathway, you need to understand exactly what has changed and how it affects you personally. Let us break it all down. The first and biggest change that every PR hopeful needs to know about is the updated points test for skilled migration. The Department of Home Affairs has revised the way points are calculated and allocated under the General Skilled Migration Program, which includes subclass 189, 190, and 491 visas. The government has placed greater emphasis on Australian work experience and Australian study qualifications. What this means practically is that if you studied in Australia, or if you have been working in Australia in your nominated occupation, your chances of receiving an invitation have improved. However, if you are sitting offshore and relying purely on your overseas qualifications and work experience, the competition has become significantly tougher. Invitation rounds are now more competitive than ever, and the points cutoffs in many occupations have shifted. Some occupations that previously required 65 points are now seeing invitations only going to candidates with 75 or 80 points. So if you have not updated your skills assessment recently, or if your expression of interest is sitting in the pool without any Australian experience attached to it, now is the time to seriously review your situation. The second major update is around the occupation lists. Australia regularly updates its skilled occupation lists, and 2026 has brought another round of significant changes. Several occupations have been removed from the medium and long-term strategic skills list, and a number of new occupations have been added. Roles in cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, healthcare, aged care, construction, and clean energy have seen major expansion on the eligible occupation lists. This reflects Australia's national priorities and the industries where there are genuine skill shortages. If your occupation has been removed, or if you are thinking about a career shift, now is the moment to check the latest occupation list and see where your skills fit. Do not assume your occupation is still eligible just because it was on the list when you last checked. Changes happen, and they happen without much public warning. The third important change in 2026 is the update to the temporary graduate visa, which is subclass 485. The Australian government has once again extended the post-study work rights for certain graduates, but with new conditions attached. Graduates from regional campuses or graduates who completed specific courses in nursing, teaching, social work, and engineering now qualify for extended stay durations. However, the government has also tightened the English language requirements for this visa. Applicants are now required to demonstrate a higher level of English proficiency than before at the time of application. If you are currently studying, or if you have recently graduated, you need to check whether you meet the new English requirements before you apply, because falling short on this could delay your application significantly. The fourth update is something that affects a huge number of people in our community, and that is the changes to state and territory nomination. The subclass 190 visa and the subclass 491 visa both require a nomination from a state or territory government. In 2026, states and territories have become much more selective about who they nominate. Most states are now prioritizing applicants who already live and work within their borders. This means if you are sitting offshore and hoping to get a state nomination, your chances have dropped considerably in most states. Some states like South Australia, Tasmania, and Northern Territory are still open to offshore applicants for certain occupations, but even they have introduced new requirements such as mandatory job offers or minimum points thresholds. If you are planning to use state nomination as your PR pathway, you need to research each state's current requirements very carefully because the rules vary significantly and they change frequently. The fifth change that is directly impacting thousands of people right now is the update to partner visa processing and the introduction of new integrity measures. The Australian government has flagged that partner visa fraud has been on the rise, and as a result, processing now involves much more rigorous document checking, and in some cases, in-person interviews are being requested more frequently. Processing times for partner visas have also shifted in 2026. While some stages have seen improvements, overall the partner visa journey remains long and requires very thorough documentation from the very beginning. If you are in a genuine relationship and planning to apply for a partner visa, make sure your evidence is comprehensive, consistent, and covers the full history of your relationship. Do not cut corners on this because any inconsistency in your application can trigger delays or even refusals. The sixth update relates to the points being awarded for community language skills. The Australian government has expanded the list of recognized community languages that attract bonus points under the Skilled Migration Points test. If you speak a language other than English that is in high demand in Australian communities, you may now be eligible for additional points that were not previously available to you. This is a small but important detail that many applicants are not aware of, and it could make the difference between sitting in the pool and receiving an invitation. The seventh thing you need to be aware of in 2026 is the government's renewed focus on regional migration. Australia is actively trying to push skilled migrants away from Sydney and Melbourne and into regional areas. The 491 visa, which is the Skilled Work Regional Provisional Visa, has seen increased nomination allocations from regional areas, and the government has introduced additional incentives for people who commit to living and working regionally. After 3 years on a 491 visa, you can apply for the 191 permanent residence visa. The pathway exists, it is real, and for many people, especially those who are struggling to get enough points for the 189 or 190 visas, the regional pathway is now the most practical and realistic route to permanent residency in Australia. If you have not seriously considered the regional pathway yet, 2026 is the year to look at it with fresh eyes. The eighth and final update that we want you to take away from this video today is about the overall migration program cap. The Australian government has announced its planned migration intake for the 2025 to 2026 program year. And while the total number of places is substantial, the split between the skills stream, the family stream, and the humanitarian stream has shifted. The skilled migration program places remain competitive, and the government has made clear that merit and genuine skill shortages will drive invitation decisions. This is not a system where you can sit back and wait. You need to be proactive, keep your expression of interest updated, keep accumulating points, and stay informed about every change that comes out of the Department of Home Affairs. The world of Australian immigration is always moving, and the people who succeed are not always the ones with the highest points or the most impressive qualifications. They are the ones who stay informed, act quickly, and make decisions based on accurate and current information. That is exactly what Australia PR Insider is here for, and that is exactly why you need to keep coming back to this channel. If this video helped you, or if it answered a question you have been sitting with for a while, please share it with everyone in your network who is on the Australian PR journey. You never know who in your circle needed to hear this today. Drop your questions and your visa pathway in the comments below, and we will do our best to answer or cover it in an upcoming video. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it valuable, and most importantly, subscribe to Australia PR Insider right now if you have not already done so. We are here every week with the updates, the insights, and the honest information you need to make your Australian dream a reality. See you in the next one. Sonnet 4.6 Extended.